Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be covering the full change list for patch 13.1. There's quite a lot, so let's get into it. AD Shaco is having his Q mana cost reduced from 60 to 40. This is a pretty minor buff. He's having his Q backstab crit buff from 30 to 40%. This is a pretty decent buff. This definitely helps AD when you're getting those really high AD builds. It's a lot of damage to get added on. His EAD ratio is also going from 75 to 80%. This will help for those high AD builds as well. His E does AP damage, however, so it doesn't help the lethality builds as much, but the lethality builds tend to be the higher AD builds, so it still does help them. Jayce is gaining 3 base AD, which is huge for Jayce. Jayce was someone who was considered out of pro play when he lost 2 base AD, so giving him 3 back, plus the changes back along where he gained he gains more resistance as scaling on his R with bonus AD. This is already a pretty sizable buff, and he would be picked a lot in pro play, so this is definitely very scary. And combined with this, he's gaining 40 damage, level 1, on his melee W damage, which is also huge, because this lasts for 4 seconds, and he's gaining 10 at all ranks. His melee Q is going from 55 to 60, this will be, I believe. And then it will be 310 at max rank. This was incorrect on the notes, but this is still a large amount of damage to gain. Overall, his combo is gaining a lot of damage. His execute range is a lot higher. This is gonna probably make Jayce pick or ban in pro, I believe. So yeah, this is very, very scary. Lissandra is gaining 6 more health growth. This is health growth, which is quite nice. The Q slow is going up. They chose to go for the more utility focused, which is unfortunate, but it's understandable. But this is going up by 4 to 8, which is a pretty big buff. And her W cooldown is going from 14 to 10 to 12 to 8, which is also a really big buff. This is huge for utility in Lissandra, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see more Lissandra in pro play because of this. But there is also a chance that because of the way pro perceive her, that she isn't picked as much. But this is a really sizable amount of buffs to get. Sion is gaining 40 HP, and he is gaining 20 more damage on Q. This is nice. This won't fix the problems with Sion, though. Sion has just a load of inherent weaknesses at the moment. The nerfs are going to help him more than these buffs. I imagine his win rate will probably go up by 2, maybe 3% this patch. But that's only going to put him around a 50% win rate, and they could have probably swung harder here. Xayah has been added to the patch, getting more attack speed and attack speed ratio. This is nice. They're basically just trying to push her more towards the Kraken and the attack speed builds over the Eclipse and lethality builds, which were really strong for a while. Twisted Fate is getting some massive buffs. His QCD is going down from 6 to 5. This is his first max ability. We might see some CDR Twisted Fates if there's like certain breakpoints within this where you can permanently cast Q. Something like a 2-second cast timer would be huge for Twisted Fate. Something maybe like a Night Harvester build. W blue card AP ratio is going up by 25%. This is also a massive buff. Definitely helps those high AP builds. And his W red card AP ratio is going from 60 to 70. Helps his wave clear. This is overall just massive buffs for Twisted Fate. He'll probably be one of the highest prior mid laners going into the new season. Aatrox is getting a couple things taken away from him. His passive is going down from 5 to 12 to 4 to 10. His E healing during R is going from 25 to 45 to 20 to 36. And his R movement speed is going down. On paper, these look like pretty big buffs, but this isn't really the reason you're picking Aatrox in pro. They are going to hurt him, definitely, and he's probably not going to have as high prio, but these shouldn't hurt him too much, and the reasons you're picking him. Mundo is losing 40 base health, he's losing some armor growth, and his E bonus AD is going from 2.5 to 4.5 to 2 to 4. This is a pretty sizable nerf. I don't think this will hurt him too badly, but this is probably like a 2, maybe 3% win rate nerf. So it'll put him in a more balanced spot. Fiora is losing 0.5% ratio on her passive, and she's losing 5% on her Q-AD ratio. This hurts her high AD builds. You don't tend to see the mana moon Fiora as much as you used to, but this will be a pretty big tag towards her late game. Not so much early. It's very minimal early. The thing you've got to factor in is that This does hurt her R quite a bit as well, because all of these will, this is technically 2% when you're getting all 4 books on R, so this will definitely hurt, but it shouldn't remove the reasons why you're picking Fiora, and she'll still be one of the better top laners. Cassante is getting a huge nerf on his W. His base movement speed is going from 335 down to 330. His passive damage is going down by 5, going down from 10 to 25 to 5 to 20, and his W minimum damage is going from 4.25 to 5.25 to 2 to 3, and his maximum W damage is going from 8.25 to 9.25 to 7 to 8, which is a decent amount of maximum health damage. It hurts his tank killing capabilities. The passive is going to hurt his trading, definitely, and the base movement speed is also going to hurt, because these are all very much towards his trading combos and stuff. So well, this does hurt Cassante quite a bit. He'll probably still be picked a decent amount, but this definitely hurts him. Mordekaiser was pulled from patch. I actually kind of expected this. I don't think Mordekaiser needed nerfs. He's in a good spot in both top and jungle at the moment, and by nerfing him, you're not really achieving too much. You're maybe opening up a bit more room for tanks, because he does do well in quite a few tanks, and he also beats quite a few of the stronger top laners at the moment, but he's not one of the reasons why we're seeing champs be removed from the meta, or removed from like the top lane pool. Rammus is losing 3 AD, he's losing 20 base health, he is now having his W. This is what they took away from him a while ago, where they no longer amped it. But the W gives you flat resist on top of the amp, and now the W flat resists are gonna be part of the amp, whereas they were taken away from him not too long ago, when they buffed him the patch after with the removing the movement speed slow on his W. His W armor is going down by 15 because of this, and his percentage armor is going from 60 to 100 to 40 to 100. This is going to really hurt Rammus early game. It doesn't hurt his late game that much, but his early game is going to really take a hit from this. I'm kind of sad they went this route, because this is really going to, this is very much pushing towards low elo. Like, this isn't hurting low elo as anywhere near as much as high elo. And there's a chance that because it's very, very high elo skewed with all the early game nerfs here, that this might not be enough. They might have to go harder with the nerfs on Rammus, which is really unfortunate, but this is not the angle. Yumi's Q damage is going from 50 to 250 to 50 to 200. This is basically them saying they don't want Yumi as part of the game anymore. This is a huge amount of damage to lose on her key damage ability, especially late. This is just gonna hurt her super hard, and you also lose 50 on the empowered Q as well. So this is a really big tag to Yumi. Zeri is losing 0.2 AD growth. Zeri already had extraordinarily low AD growth. Her Q damage is also going down by 4 later ranks. This is weird, because this very much says that Zeri is more of a problem in low elo and solo queue, which I don't think she will be as much of a problem in. I think she's almost relatively balanced in solo queue at the moment, but I mean, they're worried about her taking over in Pro, which is why both the Yumi and the Zeri nerfs are on this patch. Aximark is gaining 8 lethality. This is huge for the item. This very much puts it in a better spot, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing Aximark again. Horizon is gaining 15 AP. This is also pretty huge for Horizon. Lux and Xerath will really like this. Lux is already in a really good spot after her buffs. Horizon also gaining 15 AP is going to be huge for her. There's a chance that Lux mid is one of the strongest in the game, and definitely worth playing going into the new season. Roa is gaining 300 health. The Eternity resources restored to proc movement speed is going down by 50. Movement speed. Yeah. Movement speed amount is going from 25% to 35%, and there's a lot of QL changes and bug fixes. So this is a buff to Roa. It's quite nice. I mean, Kassadin's going to be terrifyingly strong next patch. There is a chance Kassadin is the strongest champ in the game. And yeah, I definitely consider play. If you know how to play Kassadin, definitely play Kassadin next patch. Winter's approach is going down in 100 gold cost, and the health is going up by 50. This helps Ornn, because Ornn is someone who can use this item quite well. definitely helps him as a second option. Same with, well, it would more likely be a third option now, since the changes to the mythics, but it's quite nice. Also, because you want to pick up an RD tier, you can sack tier quite easily, and it helps you use more abilities during laning phase. Same goes for like Sejuani. Asian Tenacity is getting slammed here. It's losing 10% at max rank, which is a huge amount. This indirectly buffs Mercs, because Mercs now have more value, as they are one of the highest ways of, one of the best ways to get Tenacity. So this is a really big hit. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes down to 2 rather than 1.5. I just feel like this is massively overkill for a rune. I wouldn't consider as being that strong. It's definitely one of the stronger ones, but it's not that oppressive to the point where it needs to be hit this hard. Jackshot is gaining 100 cost. The resists are going from 2 per second to 15% and 20% bonus resist at max stack. So this helps high resist champs. So this is also probably why they're nerfing Rammus a bit, because this is a buff to Rammus, definitely. The drain amount is going from 3 to 3% max HP to 80 plus 7% max HP. This is good. This makes the item feel better. One of my complaints about the item was that it felt bad, and the drain being higher definitely helps it. This actually makes it feel meaningful. And the drain on the minions and monsters was basically non-existent. You'd only notice this if you were around Dragon maybe, and you were fighting around some of the camps, but this is really big. Seraph's Embrace is going up by 400 in total cost, but the ability power is also going up by 20. The ability haste going up by 10. But it's basically being reverted back to the it gives AP based on oh my god, grants AP equal to 2.5% bonus mana. There we go. Rather than grants haste, which is what it currently does. It's a very underbuilt item, and the older one felt better and was more used. So they're definitely going the right angle with this, and they're giving it a shield back, which was the very old Seraphs. This is what I used to do pre the item rework. So this is massive for Rise, both Thrower and Seraphs being buffed. This is a very good Rise patch. Just in general, the tier items being buffed, really nice. So these are going to be the changes which will most likely go live on 13.1. I'll make a top lane tier list covering all of these, but for the most part, I'd say this is a pretty good patch. There are some very scary changes in here, definitely. Things like Jayce being buffed as hard as he's been buffed, and a lot of the system buffs can help a lot of the champions. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a B patch to this to 13.1, but overall, good patch. Plus we get the Jax changes as well. I'll cover those when they go live, and I will also make a top lane tier list. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.